Welcome back to Sampstra Games, the place to find new strategy games, and today we're going to play Sigil of the Magi, which is coming out into full release. Now this is a turn-based combat game with cards, and it's just a really cool one. Now we're going to be playing with the Guild of Shadows, but I'm actually going to be using a custom party, like a really special setup. So the Guild of Shadows arose from the congregation of the persecuted and downtrodden, building together for protection. They eventually became powerful but morally ambiguous group, sometimes dispensing justice upon evildoers, but at other times verging on doing evil themselves. But there are many who despise the Shadow Guild, none deny that their very existence may be the only thing keeping the rich and powerful from completely running amok. Now we're going to have a custom party where we're basically going to have a knight, so this is going to be Rudy, after one of my patrons. We're going to have a witch instead of the basic wizard, because the witch has some really interesting abilities like giving enemies poison or allies armor if you're near them. And as the last character, I'm gonna pick this rogue, and I'm gonna call him Trangilli. The rogue is interesting. I don't really like, because the way he works is that you want to be flanking enemies with him. So what I basically want to do is move the knight and the rogue nearby towards the enemies, and then use the witch around. So this is a very like attack heavy party, as opposed to the original group where you have one knight and a archer and a wizard. So typically you're going to be in the back until a wizard gets a really cool ability where you want to be moving to the front. So what we can do is we can pick a card into our deck, or pick a card and transport it into another random card. I will transform, because this basically allows me to get rid of a card while also getting a new card. So we're gonna do just a basic slash. Ooh, that was interesting. I think we might have done something really cool. Oh, no, okay. So notice that these two things are actually different colors. So the way it looks, because the way this game works is that each character can only use their own cards. But the way it looked in the videos, I thought that because we picked like two, like the original melee characters, that they might have the same. We could use the cards interchangeably between them. That would actually lower the difficulty of the game a lot, so it kind of makes sense that it doesn't do that. So basically, these two are for the knights for Rudy, and this is for Trangilli, and these are for the witches. So, every one of these bushes gives you extra armor, so it's just a really good thing to be on. Now, the way these dogs work is that they are just going to come to us and attack us. So we're going to move this knight there, and we're going to move the mage. So actually we would want to move the mage next to it, but we can't quite move it. So what we can do is we can start with Draw Blood, and Draw Blood basically gives the knight the armor equal to half the damage dealt. Okay. Now you might be wondering, what is this little rack here? Well, what you can do is, if you don't have a way to actually like attack or do what you want to do, you can save it. You can put a card into this rack. It will cost you the entire mana cost, but you can use it next turn for free. So actually I'm not going to do it this turn because I want to give more protection to the knight. But it is interesting that you can use it. Now, also each of our characters have special abilities. So the knight, at the end of each turn, he gains 2 armor for each adjacent occupied tile, whether that's a friend or enemy. The rogue gets bonus if he's flanking, and the mage gives armor at the start of a turn to your allies or your enemies. So for example, if I use this stab, it actually does 9 damage because I'm flanking with an enemy, with a friend of mine. Not an enemy, sorry. Let's kill this little doggy. Now this person is going to attack my knight, which is pretty fine because, well, we're going to get 6 armor and he's attacking for 5. Alternatively, I could also move the rogue. Oh, I don't have movement on the rogue. Okay, I was going to move the rogue closer to get there, but I don't have movement on there, so I can't do it. That's good. And we'll use our little venom here. And then we'll use Draw Blood. So this moving here might be a good move if he had an attack for a Triangili, because then the rogue, he would do more damage. But for the knight, it's not really worth it. The only thing I can do for the knight is basically move the rogue adjacent to him, and then I can use provocation, which means that the enemy will still use the knight, but because I have the rogue next to me, I actually get better armor, just because like every tile around the knight around Rudy is filled, so he gets some more defense. So you really want to like think about the positioning. Now for this beginning battle, I admit it doesn't super matter because it's the start, but once you get towards like elite enemies, it's really gonna make a difference if you can use your positioning well. Now, what do we have here? Grant 7 armor, +1 power, and debuff -1 power. So basically this means that for this turn you gain +1 power, which means you do +1 damage this turn, but next turn you do -1 damage. Toxic fumes, deal 6 damage. This is the basic damage that my the witch, so me, does. Inflict 3 poison. If target already has poison, inflict another 3 poison. That's pretty interesting. Bane is interesting. This is on the rogue, because if target has poison, and we do have a way to poison enemies with myself with the witch, this will reduce stack by 1, gain 1 mana, draw 1 card. So the reduced stack doesn't super matter because you don't always have a full stack, and even if you have a full stack, it's usually pretty easy to play the stuff on the stack. So this is interesting, but I think we first take the toxic fumes, because we first need to be able to do that much poisoning for the other card to be worth it. Ooh, Cold Steel. Every third attack on a single enemy unit in a turn inflicts weak. This is not really exciting. Well, actually maybe, because it means that we have to attack a single enemy consistently, which we don't always do. So what do we have in terms of relic? At the start of a turn, grant the champion with the lowest health 6 armor. That's not bad, especially considering this group where basically everybody has to be close to enemies because the rogue has to be flanking. So basically this should give the rogue mostly armor, because the knight will already have a bunch of armor presumably. Yeah, none of the other ones are actually worth it for us, so I will take the Cloak of Preservation. It's interesting. Oh, actually, we shouldn't have moved here, because this thing you typically have to pay... Oh, actually, no. So normally the events, more often than not, you have to pay money to get stuff, but this one we don't need to. We're gonna do this one. So the way this one works is there's an open chest, sits in a clearing in the middle of the forest. Gold glisten from it and illuminated by the sun's rays. Obviously it's a trap. We'll do it anyway because you can get a relic. So basically we're gonna keep touching it until we get a relic, which we get right now. What does at the end of turn all champions gain 1 armor? Oh, we don't really store stuff on the rack that much. So let's do an elite fight now. Okay, let's start. Let's see what we've got. They're all pretty far, so what we can do is kind of want to be in this bush eventually, but if I move towards the bush, actually they won't be able to attack me this turn anyway. So let's do it. Let's get everybody adjacent. And what we're gonna do is we're actually going to save up all of our stuff onto the rack, or as much as we can, so that we can use it next turn. And then we want to move the guy into the bush, and we're gonna be, and this guy's vulnerable, so he'll be taking a lot of damage, so we're gonna be attacking him first. So let's move here towards this bush. Move the mage adjacent, and then with the rogue we can't really do the flanking yet, so we'll just kind of move here. We'll start with the venom on the vulnerable guy. Actually, is that worth it? Because the vulnerable guy, he takes extra damage, so it's not worth it to put venom on him. Instead we want to put the venom on the big guy, I think. And I will safeguard, I will save the safeguard because I'll be getting, well actually this guy is gonna attack my rogue. That's a bit of a problem. He'll hit 11 damage to him. So let's move the mage. The rogue can get out because the rogue would have to deal 7 damage, but it doesn't have the movement. I think we'll just have to eat the damage. I can move the mage one higher, because it's gonna give better armor to the rogue. Sorry, the mage, not the mage. But we'll still take damage, which is not great. But at least now the rogue is the one that's taking the extra. Oh. If I move the rogue here, he will be vulnerable, but will be doing more damage at this guy. And this guy is healing, so he's not hitting me anyway, so let's do it. So the rogue will do provocation on... Wait, what are they doing? This guy's attacking. Yeah, on the guy up top. We'll do toxic fumes on the person who already has poison to give him a lot more poison. And I'm gonna do stabby stabby with my little beautiful rogue because we get that flanking now. Okay. The mage needs to go down to give everybody good armor. And I'll hit this guy. And I'm also gonna just... Well, nobody's attacking... Yeah, nobody's attacking my rogue, so we don't really need to use this up. So we're just gonna end our turn here. And you can see that the rogue has 10 armor, the knight has 15, so it's pretty good. Still might take some damage, but generally it's not bad. Okay, more venom on the big... Yeah, I definitely don't want to be in the vulnerable position anymore. And I am gonna give the rogue some armor just in case. Oh, they're all trying to attack my mage. Now the mage can get out. I think we'll do it. We would rather they attack the Rudy here because Rudy can get some pretty nice armor. Okay. Yeah, this guy will die next turn on his own, so we don't want to waste our attacks on him. Let's drop this guy. Between the flanking, I think we can just do it. Yeah, if I move my wizard, just drop it. We'll safeguard the guard, the trianguli basically. And we'll let the mage give everybody armor. Can't really block the path, so we'll just have to take it. And the mage is now dead. Great. All we gotta do now is basically drop this. I'll do the draw blood and that will finish him. Beautiful. We did say take some damage, but this is an elite fight, so we get a bleeding mask. Whenever a champion inflicts a negative status effect upon target also. So this is amazing because remember, we're now inflicting poison a lot. We're doing the venom, we're doing the 3 poison and 3 poison with the with the witch. So now for every poison, if we can also give bleed, well actually it's not for every poison, it's for every status effect. So with the card that we do with the venom, we just basically do 6 poison and 1 bleed, but with the other card we do 3 poison and 3 poison and 2 bleed. So that's pretty good. I like draw blood because it gives me both armor and damage. I also, Scramp is interesting because it allows us to use the better cards twice. I think I'll do it because there's no, because it redraws the card, there's basically no negative effect to having it. So sometimes the problem with cards is that basically you're polluting your deck. That's not really the case here because you... Okay. I'm gonna move up and we're gonna draw blood and then our little mage is going to, sorry, our little rogue is going to kill it. Then we'll move the knight back down and we'll use some of the stabby stuff here. And then I'll move the rogue back. Yeah, I think that's okay. Alright. It's just these two are making them so stronger and the big guy is probably coming. Yeah. Okay. Alright, we'll start with provocations, because why not? Toxic fumes, sure. So this is a thought, whether we want to do toxic fumes again. But I think we might be better off just straight up like... Could I use Scrimp to get something? Yeah, like draw blood back. Because I really... Oh, I won't be able to kill this guy, but at least I can give myself like a bunch of armor. Who is attacking who? You want to attack the wizards? That's fine. You attack the main guy, that's good, and they can't reach anybody. Yeah, so this is valid because we have enough defense, so we're fine. Rudy can take any damage done to him from anybody. Yeah. Alright. I need to start with the witch staff to just kill this person. Just wanna, and we'll venom one of these smaller guys. I'll safeguard this. I think we'll move in, stabby stab, and move back. Now, who is attacking who? You're hitting the rogue, you're hitting the rogue, you're hitting the mage. So that's now good. Okay, now these... Oh. Okay. One of these is attacking the rogue. Oh, I should have moved with the mage adjacent to the rogue. I messed that up. That's okay. Well, nothing else I can do. Good. Okay, they're all attacking him now. That's good. Alright, toxic fumes. How are we doing? There's a lot of toxic fumes. Okay, so we'll move here. We'll use toxic fume on the one at the top. Slash and slide. Stabby stab. Can't quite finish. Alright. Gave me knockback, which is not good. We'll kill one of these up top, we'll stab the one up the bottom, and we can use a slash for this guy. But I do want to move away with everybody else. I want to make sure this guy is attacking just Rudy here. Because Rudy can easily finish him off. Well, actually, okay. I guess someone else will finish him off because Rudy doesn't have an attack on him. We'll let me do it. Deal 7 manage if this is the last card in hand. Deal only if the last card in hand. I don't know if we're finishing. If we're running out of cards that quickly. So we're actually probably not gonna take anything here. Okay, let's try to get some good stuff. You could upgrade a card or remove a card. Let's try to upgrade one of the good ones. So, Scrimp would return 2 cards. Don't know if I care. What about Toxic Fumes? Deal 6 and then 6 damage and then 4 and 4 poison. Venom would do straight up 8 poison. What about Draw Blood? Draw Blood is better because Draw Blood now does 9 damage and I get equal armor. That's just better. But let's go to the shop. See what we can get. Whenever you have 0 cards in hand, random champion gains power. When you play 7 or more cards, no. On the first turn of combat, gain 1 mana and draw 1 additional card. None of these are really exciting. I might do card removal instead. And just remove some of these basic... So we can, just some of these basic cards so we can get like a better attack. Now here we can heal one person for a lot or we can heal everybody for a little bit. We'll heal everybody for a little bit and we'll try to do the big fight. Okay, what does this guy do? Oh, he removes all status effects. Okay. That's interesting. So we're gonna move up here to get some armor. We'll move the rogue down there and we'll move the wizard in between. I'll do provocation on... So these guys are not attacking. So we'll do provocation on the one up top. We'll give armor and we're just gonna prep with the slash and slide and the draw blood for next turn, I think. Hopefully one of them will step in here, because that's going to be the best position for us to actually start doing damage. So the venom is kind of wasted on the person up there, because he has that thing where he removes all armor. So I'm not sure. Let's move the rogue up and start hitting this guy. And then we'll move him back down, basically. I can use Scrimp to get back Draw Blood, just so I can get more defense. And then I'll move the rogue back down and I'll use a Safeguard. And I'll discard that. Okay, good. They're all attacking, well actually most of them are attacking the Knight, Rudy, which is good. The only problem is if they attack me. If they attack Trangili or Rudy, we're good. But the moment they choose to attack me... So what is this guy doing? He can remove all other status effect on whom, though? So Toxic Fumes seem kind of risky this turn. Because I feel like... ain't really gonna do much. It would have been really nice if he had any kind of an attack on Trangili, because we are sort of nicely positioned here. But I'm actually gonna safeguard this because stash the safeguard, because it looks like this enemy is attacking Rudy, so we don't really need any extra protection on Trangili there. Alright, we'll start with slash and slide because we get that extra damage here. Let's do some stabby stabby. Okay, so all of the allies are basically dead. So again, we'll just end the turn. And next time we're gonna go all in on big guy. I guess at this point, like, if we don't have a better attack than the Toxic Fumes, we can do it. Also, it will at least, like, affect them for one turn. Do slash and slide and then move back down. Okay, yeah. As long as they keep attacking Rudy, we're basically good. We can do this all day. So is this the part? No, he's still not removing. Okay, so will he be using Venoms? If he's not removing his status effect, then yeah. Actually, I did this wrong. Some of you might notice I should have actually moved up and do the attacks with my rogue. Ooh, so this is not good because now we can move away, so we're just gonna have to stay here. Get a little extra defense. Yeah, this is, we don't want to be there. So we want to use the stabby stab on our beautiful rogue, but then we gotta get the hell out. Like, no, we need you to attack Rudy. Rudy, my tank. Attack my tank, man. Rudy has a lowered power, which is obviously not great. But it's really bad because he's just like, I guess I'll protect this. But he can take basically infinite damage, which is the part that makes it exciting. So it's kind of like, we'll do a stabby stab. This is gonna be another one of those situations where it's like, no! Yeah, he's coming after it. The moment Tranquilly stays up there, the enemy's like, I'm gonna destroy you. Okay, let's move the... We'll just move the knight nearby so we get a better damage. Okay, we won. So we got a bunch of gold. And a card. Deal 10 damage. Target loses HP, inflict 2 bleed. If target already has bleed, inflict another 2 bleed. Deal 18 damage, -1 on this whenever a card is discarded. We do have the discard mechanic, but not that much. I'm actually considering more the either slice and dice or the poison stab, because this is 8 damage and 6 poison, so this is 14 total, just not in one turn. And we have that stuff that does poison a lot. We also have the thing that when we inflict stuff, we give... It's actually, we should do slice and dice. I think it's better. Just because of our ability where basically we give bleed every time we give an effect. Do we want extra card or extra mana? I think we'll take extra mana. I think we want to move down here because we got a lot of money, so we can like buy stuff. So this thing, it gives poison everyone who stands on it. So ideally we would want the enemies to stand on it. Oh, they're all attacking the... Okay, we'll move the rogue up. The knight up, Rudy up. And I'm just gonna prep my stuff. Basically. Just gonna let them come and I'm just gonna prep my stuff. That's all I'm doing. Okay. So we'll start with Venom on the one guy up there and the Toxic Fume. So this guy's gonna get like a bunch of poison. Basically should die very quickly. We have Stabby Stab. And a Bitch Stab. Okay, this guy's dead. I do have Scrimp and Safeguard if I wanted to... Let's get Scrimp. We could actually get away with something expensive, but we don't have anything expensive. So actually we might want to start taking a little bit more expensive cards. Because we're kind of at a point where it's like... I could do more if I had more to do. Safeguards... I will save it for next turn, but it's like no need to use it now. And they're all getting themselves poisoned. So this guy is just gonna drop, yes. And then let's draw blood on this beautiful poisoned person. Yeah, my rogue needs to go and start doing some damage. Slash it. Who are you attacking? We don't need... I'll save the protection spell for next time. We don't need it. Yeah, we definitely want something at least 2 mana. Because at this point, because we have that extra mana a turn, we actually don't really... We're not using all of our mana. Ooh, and we don't get anything expensive this time. Deal 10 damage. If target is skilled, gain 2 mana. So down and out seems amazing. Hex is exciting though, because Hex now gives you weak, vulnerable, and double bleed. Which means our slice and dice will next time give 6 bleed instead of 3 bleed. So this is really fun for our combo. But I don't think we can... I don't know. And it's a burn, but this is one time. We gotta take down and out. Like there's... If we didn't have down and out in the options, I would have gone for Hex, because Hex is really good for us. But like... We have 10 cards in hand plus 2 mana. Oh, no, yeah, we're not gonna have 10 cards in hand. Like, that's not even... We don't even need to look at it. That's not gonna happen, man. What are you thinking? This thing is really cool because this thing gives you immunity. So we wanna, like, get there ASAP, but we won't be able to now. Okay, well, I guess we'll just get close. We'll give ourselves slashy slash, stabby stab, and we don't have any knockout, so we don't actually have a way to get the enemies away from there. Because sometimes sometimes the enemy can have like a knockout, and basically you can push the enemy away, or like you can pull them closer to you, but we don't have any of those, so... I think let's start with provocation. I can't do anything exciting in terms of just like... Okay, but we can kill this guy. Yes, we killed this guy. So now we're gonna step in here, and now we can start using our stabby stab. So the way these little slimes work is basically if you murder them, they split into... There's a bad move. I shouldn't have done that because I can just kill this guy. So it's like a waste of... We'll give armor to my little rogue. And we'll save this stabby thingy. And we'll move like this. This is basically the perfect formation because the knight gets bonus from standing near the witch. And Trianguli, if any... Oh, so yeah, so they have knockback. That's not good. But yeah, we can still like step back up. And basically give my give Trianguli that extra bonus. Ooh, that was okay. So we're gonna get back down and out because that means I can drop this guy, and now we get extra cards and extra good stuff. I was looking at it and I thought it was, for some reason I thought it was well, let's actually do toxic fumes on the guy up top. I thought that was the slice and dice, so I was like, well, we'll just use it. But actually, it was down and out, so we should have left it for the kill, which we did eventually. So it's like it's not the end of the world. So, you know, well, they keep poisoning the guy up here. Stabby stab. Okay, I gotta move the wizard closer, so our stabby stab is actually a little bit more worth it. Oh, well. Ooh. If I use the protection spell first, can I still use safeguard, or is it not gonna work? No, it doesn't work. Okay. I wasn't sure. I was like, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? Now we know. This one has bleed too, so it's not gonna take that much damage, but this guy's gonna get hurt a lot. Okay, let's do slash and slide on this one. I don't want to walk through poison. But also, it's probably better to walk through poison than to just like let the enemy hit once. So when they die, they place a bomb on the spot, which is really, really cool because then it like blows up next to them, so you gotta avoid it. Deal current armor as damage is pretty exciting for Rudy because we get a lot of armor each turn. Gain 7 armor and gain movement is also pretty fun, but now we have the Hex. Remember, Hex is like weak, vulnerable, and double bleed. I gotta take Armored Slime, guys. Armored Slime is just exciting. But I actually think that we're going to end the episode here. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, write down in the comments. And you can click on the right towards some other games to the on this channel. See you there. Bye bye.